You hear it all the time, right? Eat more protein, build more muscle. But then there's that little voice in the back of your head, that rumor you heard at the gym. What if all that protein is actually wrecking your kidneys? Well, today, we're going to settle that debate once and for all.
I mean, it's a legitimate fear. You're trying to do something good for yourself, get stronger, feel better, but what if it's all coming at a hidden long-term cost? So let's get right to it. Is that daily protein shake your best friend or a secret enemy to your kidneys?
All right, let's dive into our first section, the high protein question. So, where does this worry even come from? Honestly, it kind of makes sense on the surface. Our kidneys are filters, and digesting protein creates waste that needs filtering. So the logic goes, more protein means more work for your kidneys. But here's the million-dollar question. Does more work actually mean damage? That's the myth we're going to tackle.
To get a real answer, we can't just rely on locker room chatter. We have to dig into the actual research. So let's see what the science has to say about all this. Okay, so in science, when you really want to get to the bottom of something, you look for a meta-analysis. It's like a study of studies where researchers gather up all the credible research on a topic to see what the overall evidence says. And a huge one from McMaster University did exactly that.
And boom, here it is, the big headline. For healthy adults, and I'm going to say that phrase a lot, healthy adults, there was just no evidence linking high-protein diets to kidney damage. This was a massive blow to that old myth.
But wait, it gets even more interesting. The research didn't just find a lack of bad news. Some of it actually pointed to good news. The possibility that a high-protein diet could actually be associated with better kidney function? I mean, that completely turns the old fear on its head.
And this wasn't just a one-off thing. A real consensus started to build. You've got major players like MyFitnessPal saying it's safe for healthy people. Even the National Kidney Foundation is on board, as long as you don't have pre-existing issues. Then, another big meta-analysis in 2020 suggested it might even lower the risk of chronic kidney disease. I mean, the evidence is pretty overwhelming. But, and you really need to listen to this part, because it's maybe the most important takeaway here, the story is not that simple. There is a huge, all-important caveat we have to talk about, because this advice is definitely not for everyone. You know how I kept saying healthy individuals? Well, here's why. For people who already have kidney disease, their filters, they're just not working at 100%. Their situation is totally different, and for them, the rules of the game change completely. So this is what it all boils down to. Two very different groups, two very different verdicts. On one hand, if you're a healthy person, that old myth is pretty much busted. A high-protein diet is generally safe, maybe even beneficial. But on the other hand, if you have pre-existing kidney problems, that fear is absolutely valid. A heavy protein load can be a serious strain, and you need to be working with a doctor. The verdict really depends on who you are. Okay, now that we're clear on the science, what does this all look like in the real world? Let's talk about how to actually put this into practice the right way. So to make this super clear, let's invent a guy named Rahul. He's just a regular dude, hits the gym, wants to build some muscle, and he's heard all the stuff about eating more protein. Crucially, he's healthy with no kidney issues. So Rahul starts adding more chicken, lentils, and protein shakes. And at first, his digestion feels a little off. It happens. But instead of just quitting, he gets smart. He starts chugging more water to help his kidneys out and make sure he's getting plenty of fiber from veggies. And guess what? He starts seeing the results he wanted. More energy, better muscle tone, and, the most important part, his regular doctor checkups show his kidneys are still in perfect shape. Rahul's story is the perfect example. So let's take everything we've learned and boil it down into a simple playbook that you can actually use. You see, the real takeaway here is that for healthy people, the conversation has to change. We need to stop obsessing over just the number of grams of protein and start focusing more on how we're getting it and what the rest of our diet looks like. Really, it comes down to 3 basic rules. 1, go for quality sources. Think chicken breast, fish, and beans over super processed stuff. 2, drink your water. It's not optional. It's what helps your kidneys do their job smoothly. And 3, keep things balanced. Protein is great, but it needs friends, like fiber from fruits and vegetables. So, there you have it. For most of us, the big, scary kidney killer myth is just that, a myth. The real question we should be asking isn't if a high-protein diet is safe, but how we can do it smartly. It's all about quality, hydration, and balance. So let me ask you, what's your go-to source to fuel your goals?